Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Now, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen, we will talk about the electrical energy and electrical power. When we were defining the electromotive force and the potential difference, we said that the potential difference and the electromotive force both are providing the charge, especially the unit charge, or each unit charge, or each one coulomb, by the energy needed or the work needed to move it against the resistance of the wire or the conductor. Okay, so now we agree together that transfer, the flow of charges requires what? Requires energy or work to make charges flow against the resistance of the conductor. Well, the energy is transferred. This energy, what is the source of this energy? This energy is called electrical energy. From where can we get this electrical energy? This electrical energy is provided by the chemical energy stored in batteries. If we are talking about the battery, okay, in any battery, in any cell, we know that the battery is a set of cells or group of cells connected in parallel or in series, as we agreed together. Okay, the chemical energy, which is due to the material inside the battery, the materials of the anode, cathode, electrolyte. Okay, this chemical energy changes to electrical energy. So energy transferred from chemical energy or transformed from chemical energy in the battery to electrical energy used by the circuit components. And then after the charges flow through any component, what's meant by component? Component is the device that I try to pass the current through it. Component is the lamp, component is the resistor, component is the TV that I'm trying to pass the current through it to make it work. Okay, so the electrical energy which is passing through the component, listen well, what will happen? It will increase the internal energy of this component. And as long as internal energy increases, the temperature increases, so the wire or the component becomes hotter than the surrounding. Okay, so the wire releases heat to surrounding. So if we try to summarize what's happening here in these energy transformations, number one, we have what is the first energy? Chemical energy. Chemical energy in the cell or the battery. This chemical energy changes to what?
Electrical energy.
Change to electrical energy. Electrical energy. Okay. This electrical energy increases the internal energy of the component where the current is passing. Okay, so it changes to internal energy, or we can say thermal energy, and this causes object to release heat to the surrounding because it becomes hotter. Okay, so this sequence of energy transformations happen in electric cells and batteries. Okay, this is the first point. Well, so if we ask ourselves, from where, so this is the electrical energy, which is given the symbol E or W. Let's use W because E is common between many quantities in our syllabus. Okay, if we want to find it, let's use the concept of V, which is potential difference. Potential difference equals what? Who remembers? Potential difference V
V
equals what?
I
Equals
P
what?
P I
V equals I R.
I over
Okay,
R. I over R.
I times R. This is Ohm's law. Okay, but in fact, I'm not interested in this formula. Why? Because here I want to find the electrical working or the electrical energy. So I want to use the formula that has work or energy. What is this formula? This
E
formula is
equal PT
V equals what?
PT.
Didn't we say V equals W over Q or energy over Q? This is another formula of volt, of potential difference. Okay? And it matches the definition. We said that the definition of the potential difference is the work done by unit charge to pass through the component or between two terminals. Okay? Okay, so this is the formula that we will use to find W. W, which is the electrical working or the electrical energy. Okay, so W equals what? Excellent. W equals V times Q. Well, okay. Now I want to determine W. I'm in the laboratory. I have measuring devices. I can calculate a measuring device. I can find the voltage using a measuring device, which is called what? The measuring
A
device of
voltmeter.
voltage, the voltmeter. So I can use the voltmeter to find the measuring, to find the volt. Okay, is there any specific simple measuring device to measure the Q, which is the amount of charge passing through a component or through between two points? In fact, no. We don't have such device, at least in our syllabus, which can measure directly the amount of a charge. Okay, so we need to displace Q by quantities that can be measured directly in the laboratory. Okay, is there any formula, any other formula that has Q rather than this formula? Is there any other formula that has Q rather than this formula? Yes, there is. Q I, we said that I equals Q over T. So from this, we can get that Q equals I times T. Well, can I measure I directly in the laboratory? Yes, I can, using the ammeter. Can I measure T? Yes, using the stopwatch or any timer. Okay, so we will replace Q, which is not directly measured, by I times T, which is which can be directly measured. Okay, so this is the first formula that we will use. W equals V times I times T. And this is the first formula that we will use. The first formula that we will use. Okay. By the way, from this formula, we can get a very strange idea, which is W is measured in watt in joule, V is measured in watt in volt, I is measured in what? In amperes. T is measured in what? In seconds. So we can easily see that 1 joule equals 1 volt ampere second. So the joule is equivalent to volt times ampere times second. Okay, well, is this everything? No. Now we quote a formula. And once you quote a formula, you will make a party. Okay, how? Let's see. Can't we replace in this formula? We can make two things. We can replace V by I times R from Ohm's law. Okay, can we? Huh? Yes, we can. Okay, so if we do that, we will get this formula, which is W equals I R times I, which means I squared R times T. Okay, we replace V by IR, I times I squared, R times T. Okay, so this is the second formula of finding what? The electrical energy. Okay, well, can I play with this another game? Yes, we can replace I by V over R. So if we do, what will happen? Huh? W, Muhammad, please. Muhammad, please. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
طيب يحيى.
يس مستر، أنا كمان كان عندي سؤال بسيط.
اوكي قول.
هو الاي اللي هي ايكوال تو في اوفر ار والفي اللي هي ايكوال اي ار كلها من التراينجل بتاع الريزيستنس صح؟
كلها بالظبط من اومز لو. V equals IR او R equals V over I. Yes. صحيح. تمام.
بس
اوكي.
كنت عايز اتاكد.
ايوه بس احنا هنعمل هنا احتمالين، مره هنشيل ال V ونحط IR ونشوف الفورمولا اللي هتطلع لنا، ومره هنشيل ال I ونحط V divided by R. So W will be V times V divided by R, so it will be V squared over R times T. So these are the three formulae to find, or the four formulae to find the what? The electric energy. Okay, so please put this in mind. W or E, which is the electrical working or electrical energy, can be calculated from one of the following formulae. Number one, V times Q. Okay, and this can be used for calculations only, not for finding the electrical energy in the laboratory. Okay, number two, W equals I squared R. Okay, number three, V squared, I squared RT. I squared RT. Number three, V squared over R times T. Number four. Do you remember from topic one? From topic one, we studied that the power equals what? Power equals work divided by time. So work equals what? Work equals what?
Power times time.
لا from this formula. ايوه بالظبط كده. From this formula, I'm not asking about FD. FD is a mechanical working. Is a mechanical working. This is electrical working. كويس انك قلت البوينت دي يا انس. اوكي. انس كتب لي FD. لا دي this is electrical working. Electrical working, not mechanical working. Electrical working is the work done by the charge to against the electric resistance to pass the component, okay? Or the energy provided by the source to make the charge, the unit charge flow in all the circuit, okay? But the mechanical working that we studied in topic 1 is the work done to when a force is applied to an object to move it, an object, not a charge, an object to move it certain or specific distance along its direction. Okay, this is the difference between هنا ما ينفعش اقول F times D. تمام؟ So here the work will be زي ما محمد قال لي وزي برضه ما انس كتب خلاص it will be from here it will be power times T. So we have 4 formulae to find the electrical working. But by the way, power here is what? The power here is the electrical power also. So write these formulae in front of you, please, okay, to use them in finding electrical energy. And now we will make a very strange jump. What is this jump? Now we will talk about the electrical power. The electrical power. If I ask you, what is the electrical power? Any power is energy or work done or transferred per unit time. يعني per 1 second. يعني per a 1 second. Okay, so if I have the work and I want to get the power, what will I do? I'm waiting for your answers.
معايا الورك وعايز اجيب الباور صح؟
بالظبط. What will I do? Excellent, Anas. Thank you. ها. Anas answered privately. يا ريت تكتبوا الإجابات على البرايفت. اللي عايز يتكلم يسأل مفيش مشكلة، لكن في الإجابات دايما خليها برايفت.
وانا معايا الورك بس انا محتاج داتا تانية.
ايوه لا يعني from work how can I get the الله أكبر. how can I get the power? That's all. ايه الفورمولا يعني هعمل ايه؟ محمد انت فين؟
مع حضرتك بس.
ها.
انا معايا الورك وعايز اجيب الباور.
ايوه بالظبط. الموضوع سهل قوي على فكره لسه قايلينه دلوقتي.
الفورميشن بس الايكويشن دي هقلبها هتبقى التايم تايمز الورك.
times الورك ولا work divided by time. تمام يا يحيى answered. Okay, so I'll divide over work over
أيوة.
time. Sorry, work divided by time. I'll divide over time. So the electric power will be any formula of these formulae divided by what?
Time.
By time. Okay, so it will be V Q divided by T, or I squared R T divided by T, so it will be I squared R, or V squared R divided by T, so it will be V squared over R divided by T, so it will be V squared over R. طبعا it means nothing to say power divided by times T divided by T, it will be power. So we have 3. We can say electrical working divided by T. Okay, so, and all these are measured, the measuring unit of the electrical power, like any power, is what? Who can remind me what's the energy of the power?
What?
Watts بالظبط كده. So it measured in what? Okay, which is given the symbol capital W. Okay, this is joule. Okay, this is, so watt is equivalent to, this is volt, this is coulomb divided by second. So I can say that watt equals volt times coulomb divided by second. This is volt. This is coulomb. This is second. Okay, or I can say that watt equals, this is alhamdulillah, ampere squared times ohm. So it's ampere squared times ohm. So 1 watt equals 1 ampere squared times ohm. This is volt squared divided by ohm. So it's equivalent to V squared divided by ohm, or V squared per ohm, we can say. Here it's joule divided by time. So it equals joule per second. Okay. So
I have a question.
اتفضل.
In the first equation, V times Q over T, can't I just write it like, because Q is IT, can't I just write V times I and cancel out the T's?
ما هو بالظبط ده اللي هنقوله بالظبط ده دلوقتي، ودي هتبقى مش فورمولا عاديه، دي هتبقى المين فورمولا اللي هنتكلم فيها. لكن احنا دلوقتي خدنا الايه الفورمولا الفورمولا اللي احنا كاتبينها للورك، وكتبنا زيها. يعني كل الرساله اللي انا عايز اوصلها لك ان شيل التايم من الفورمولا يطلع لك هنا ايه؟ الورك. يطلع لك هنا الايه الباور، سوري. تمام، من الفورمولا بتاعت الورك يطلع لك الباور. خلاص. طيب هنيجي هنا
وتحط
بقى،
تايم على الباور يطلع لك الورك.
يعني
ولا
يعني تايم، خد الباور تايمز تايم يطلع لك الورك بالظبط. عايزين بقى هنا نقول نقطة مهمة جدا جدا جدا، put it in mind، اللي هي ايه؟ الحاجة الجميلة اللي قالها مصطفى. مصطفى picked the game that we are playing، اللي هو ايه؟ ان طب ما احنا عمالين نشيل حاجات ونحط حاجات، صح ولا لا؟ تمام. طيب ما هو كيو اوفر اي دي، ركز معايا كده في الحته اللي هقولها دلوقتي. كيو اوفر اي دي هي عباره عن تايم، هي عباره عن سوري كيرنت. يبقى from here we can add a formula which will be، اسمع معايا بقى، دي انا سبتها للاخر. ليه؟ لان دي هتبقى the star of the formulae of power، اللي هي ايه؟ plus in addition to I times V. So this is the fifth and the most important one in any exam. We have 5 formulae, and here also we can say I times V times what?
T.
بالظبط times T. تمام. And this also will be the most important formula. And from here we can say that what is equivalent to ampere times volt. تمام. خلاص يا جماعه. يبقى احنا هنا لازم نحفظ الفايف فورمولاي دول، وسبيشالي الفورمولا دي. ليه سبيشالي الفورمولا دي؟ لان دي اكتر فورمولا هتجيلك ان شاء الله في الامتحان. تمام. واحنا على فكره كنا في البيج اللي فاتت كنا كتبنا هنا ايه؟ كنا كتبنا اي في تي اهي، وقلت لك ليه دي اهم فورمولا؟ عشان عندك في وعندك اي، الاثنين بتعرف تقيسهم، وعندك تي تعرف تقيسها، عشان كده دي اهم ايه؟ فورمولا موجوده عندنا. خلاص. عشان كده once you find I times V في الامتحان، واحفظ الكلمه دي كويس، اول ما تلاقي I with V in the question, he may ask you about one of two questions. The first one, he may ask you about R, or the second one, he may ask you about the power. If he asks you about R, you will divide V over I. If he asks you about the power, you will multiply them I times V or V times I. If he wants you to find the work, the electrical work, you will multiply times T, so it will be I times V times T. That's it. Okay, I hope it's clear. This is a very important point to put in mind. خلينا نرجع تاني للنوتس. تمام، يبقى هنا بنقول بعد ما عرفنا الكلام ده كله هنقول ان electrical power equals voltage times current. تمام، P equals VI. خلاص عرفنا جبنا الكلام ده منين، انا شرحته لك علشان هنا انا كاتبه summarized قوي. خلاص، والelectrical energy equals V times I times T. انا كاتب لك الموست important two formulae. تمام، علشان ايه تكون عارفهم كويس. خلاص، جميل جدا جدا. هنا خلاص يعني هتلاقيني قايل لك ان V equals IR. This can be shown to be equivalent to P equals I squared R. تمام، زي ما قلنا من شويه، او V squared over R. وهنا ده هيخليني احطك عند سؤال خطير جدا جدا جدا. السؤال دوت من الاسئله التريكي جدا جدا جدا. مستر، is power directly proportional to resistance or inversely proportional to resistance? It's directly sometimes in some situations and inversely in some situations. Okay, how I'll explain in its position, but for now I want to go forward to the following. بس خليك فاكر السؤال ده لان هناقشه معاك ان شاء الله عشان السؤال ده تريكي جدا. خلاص؟ طيب. The next point is kilowatt hour. شوف, for first instant, when I tell you kilowatt hour, you may think this is a measuring unit of what? Huh? Of what?
What?
Of what? Of يعني power. Kilowatt hour. But if you focus on kilowatt, this is power.
كيلووات اور تبقى ورك لان في تايم.
بالظبط كده. Hour is time, so this is power times time. So in fact, this is energy. It's not. This is energy. It's not power. Okay, and in fact, kilowatt power, kWh, is the measuring unit of the electrical energy in for the commercial uses. For the commercial uses. So this is the commercial unit of electrical energy, and it's the energy delivered by 1 kilowatt appliance for 1 hour. What does it mean? The appliances that we are using in our houses have standard powers, okay, to perform properly. If the appliance is 1 kilowatt power, يعني the appliance, the rating of the appliance is 1 kilowatt. It means it takes 1 kilowatt power to work properly. Okay? If such appliance works for 1 hour, it means it consumed from the national grid of electricity. It consumed what? It consumed 1 kilowatt hour energy. Okay? It consumed 1 kilowatt hour energy. Okay? So in fact, this kilowatt hour energy is a measuring unit of what? It's the measuring unit of energy, of electrical energy for commercial uses. يعني the national grid the company of electricity or national company of electricity in any country, when they take the cost of the electricity you consumed every month, okay, they count how many kilowatt hours you used, and they multiply them times the price or the cost of each kilowatt hour. If you understand what I said, please write 1. If you don't understand, write 2. If you have any question you want to say, unmute yourself and say your question. طيب الحمد لله تمام. يبقى احنا هنا دلوقتي عايزين بسرعة كده بس نروح هنا عشان نقول حاجة مهمة. يبقى احنا اتفقنا, we agreed together that the electrical energy equals power times T. If we use the SI units, this will be joule, and this will be watt, and this will be second. So joule equals watt times second. But if we use the commercial units, we will use the power in kilowatt and the time in hours. Okay, so the commercial unit of E will be watt kilowatt hour. خلاص, يبقى we agreed together ان ده معنى كلمة kilowatt hour. طيب, if we want to know how many joules in 1 kilowatt hour, let's go from here to here. Kilowatt has how many watts? 1000. Hour has how many seconds? 60 times 60, يعني 3600, مش 120 بالمناسبة. خلاص, they are multiplied times each other. So that means kilowatt hour equals 3
million.
أيوة 0 0 0 0 0 يعني 3 هنا بالظبط كده, يبقى 3,600,000 يعني we can joules, or we can say 3.6 times 10 to the power of 6 joule, as you wish. If you use the standard form, it's okay. If you use the decimal form, it's okay. I think it's a piece of cake. Okay, well, so we got this idea. By the way, be careful. Be careful. Put the following point in mind, because it's a very important point. We said that the main formula from where that we can get power is what? What is the main formula? The star of the formula of the power. Huh?
V times I.
بالظبط كده, يبقى P equals IV أو VI. Okay, well, this is the main formula. Well, I is measured in ampere. V is measured in volt. So power here in watt or in kilowatt?
Watt.
Watt. So the power here, the power calculated from here is in watt. So to change it to kilowatt hour, I have to divide over 1000 to change it to kilowatt. So in other words, we can say that from watt to kilowatt, you will divide over 1000. And from second to hour, you will divide over 3600 or over 60 over 60. Finally, to finish this point and solve some practice on it, if I ask you what is the cost of electricity what is the cost of electricity, okay, it will be the power in كيلو watt. Thank you, Ms. جزاك الله خير، جزاك الله خير، شكرا جزيلا. kilowatt hour times the time in hour. Okay, خلاص يا جماعة. This is how to find the cost of electricity. This is how to find the cost of electricity. If I have I in amperes and V in volt, so I'll multiply I times V, then I'll divide over 1000 to get this. Okay, and if I have the time in second, I'll divide over 60 times 60 or 3600 to find this. If it's okay, if you got what I said, write 1. If you didn't, write 2. And if you have a question you want to ask, unmute yourself and ask me your question. Thank you, everyone. Okay, let's go to solve some examples here. The first example, calculations of the cost of electric energy in kilowatt hour. Example, a heater is used for 3 hours. So what are the givens here? Number 1, we have 3 hours. So the time's given in hours. Thank you very much. It's so good. The power of the heater is 3 kilowatt. Find the energy delivered in kilowatt. In kilowatt. The energy delivered in kilowatt. So, sorry, in commercial units, kilowatt hour. Okay, let's say kilowatt hour. Okay, kilowatt hour, kilowatt hour units. Okay, so the power equals 3, so the energy will be 9 kilowatt hour. What about the cost? The cost will be, he tells me that the cost of the energy, what is the cost of the energy if its price is 10p per unit, 10p per unit. He may give you this expression unit instead of kilowatt hour. Okay, so I'll multiply the cost of 1 unit, okay, times all the units. يعني 9 times الكوست بتاعت الايه الواحده بس، خلاص، اللي هي هتبقى دي 9 والبرايس هيبقى 10p يعني بيستر طبعا، تمام، فهتبقى 90 بيستر. Okay, is it clear or not? Is it clear or not?
Yes, Mr.
تمام. طيب خلينا نشوف السؤالين دول بسرعة، وعايز حضراتكم تحلوا لي السؤالين دول. هنعمل دلوقتي بس بوز كده، ناخد الوقت بتاعنا ونحلهم بعد كده مع بعض إن شاء الله. طيب welcome back everyone. دلوقتي إن شاء الله الجميع عايزين نشوف الإكزامبل اللي موجود قدامنا دوت. تمام. A lamp rated 12 volt و 2 amperes. أول ما هطلع الجيفنز، تمام، هقول له هنا V equals 12 volts، تمام، و I equals 2 amperes. أنا عرفت منين إن دي فولت ودي ampere from the units. Okay, volt is the unit of potential difference. Ampere from the unit of current. Sorry, يعني from where I get this is V and this is I from the units. طيب, once I find V and I, okay, if you remember I said what? I can guess. He will ask me, inshallah, about one of 2 things, or one of 3 things, or P W. Let's continue reading. Is switched on for 1 minute بالظبط يا مصطفى. تمام. يبقى هنا T equals 1 minute. طبعا we never use minutes. اوكي بالظبط كده. Thank you. يبقى so it will be 60 seconds. Okay. So I think it's so clear. What is the formula that we will use? بالظبط كده يا يحيى. ها؟ Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you, Yahya. Thank you, Anas. So here, how much energy is transferred? So the energy is like the work is I V T. So it will be 1,440 joule.